Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diane and I'm really glad that you could be here today. I'm going to wear a headband, although I tend to choose not to wear them for these type of videos. I got to take a drink because this one's heavy. It's heavy. Diet Coke, not sponsored, but love it anyway. Okay. You know, sometimes I like to do these videos, you know, maybe I can help somebody, maybe somebody's been in the same situation, and maybe when I talk about my situation, it could help them in theirs. So sometimes my stories are pretty heavy, sometimes they're lighthearted, sometimes they're about life in general, like menopause or, you know, different things that happen in all of our lives, or most of our lives anyway. And I'm sure everyone, male, female, it really doesn't matter, have had a situation like this. So before I begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the dingy dongity bell, join my dingy dongity bell team. My eyes are itchy because these guinea pigs are killing me. Talk about instant wrinkles. Okay, so like I said, I had a string of bad boyfriends. That is just a fact. It's true. It just is. So before I turned 22, I had I don't know, it seemed like every guy I dated was bad. And maybe it was because I started later and I was insecure because I didn't have anybody who asked me to date them until after I was 18. I don't know if it was insecurity and I just latched on to the first ones that would like me. I'm not sure. But for some reason, I dated some bad ones. This one was the worst, though. This is actually the worst boyfriend I ever had. And the situation I'm going to talk about today is without a doubt the scariest, most horrific, most cruel thing that anybody could just about do to someone without it being illegal. Because what he did is technically not illegal, but it should be. He should have went to prison. I'm telling you for what he did to me. So we'll start at the beginning. As I said, this guy was not very nice. And he seemed to be on the weird kind of controlling side a little bit. And it was starting to show, you know, we could go out with his friends, but somehow we never went out with mine. And my dad was like that. So I was kind of getting my, you know, starting to think maybe. But like I said, insecure, so I kind of had a bit of blinders on, trying to, oh no, maybe not, you know, maybe he just wants me to get to know his friends. You know what I mean. But we were together for like 6 months at this point. But I was starting to feel a little smothered and a little uneasy at this point. So he asked me to go out to a disco, nightclub, whatever you call it in where you live, a dance club. Now, I will say that I didn't drink alcohol hardly ever when I was younger. I don't drink it at all ever anymore. I just never really was my thing. I never liked being out of control. I never liked, I don't know. It just always scared me. And I have been drunk. Anybody who's watching this who knows me, I have been, but not that many times. I was a lot of times the designated driver. So this night I didn't drink. So I didn't need a lot of money. So what I did was, and we did this often. Now, where I was living, it was January in Alberta, Canada, Edmonton, which is considered northern Alberta, although it's mostly in central. And it is around minus 20, minus 15, minus 20. In the United States, that's about the same temperature, minus 20. It's cold, and there was snow. It wasn't deep snow, though. It hadn't snowed for a while, so it was quite packed down all over the place. So just keep that in mind. Now, we would put our purses in the car because you never wanted people to steal them. This is where I made the mistake. We often would put our coats in the trunk, but it was really cold that night. So going inside without a coat was just not an option. So they had a coat check where you paid $5 and you could check your coat. And a lot of times they would let you check 2. If they were generous at the time, they would let you check 2 for $5. So I had $20 and my driver's license, my ID. So we went inside, his 2 friends and myself and him, dude, I won't even name him because I don't think that's right because he can't defend himself. So anyway, dude and his two friends, I'm 20 years old, so a little naive still. I know nowadays they're not, but I was. We went inside and yeah, they said we could put 2 coats, but we all knew who paid. And I wasn't drinking, so it was okay. But I didn't have pockets because I was wearing a little skirt, little top, high heel shoes, and that's about it. So he, boyfriend, took my ID and my money and kept it on him. And then when I would want to pop, I just get him to get it for me. You know, my purse is locked in their car. He, you know, as the guy with the pockets, took the coat check and we went inside. And I had some friends there because this place was really close to where I live. It was maybe 8 blocks away. But not really in a sense that it was mostly a school field. Once you got around the mall, you could see my house from, because it was a whole open school field. But it ended up being, like, if you go distance-wise, about 8 blocks. So, you know, it was my neighborhood. It was a pretty busy nightclub, but it was close to where I lived, walkable in the summer, not the winter, too cold. And so a lot of people that I went to school with were there. You know, we were only 20, so we'd only just graduated high school. Lots of people still around from, you know, the day. So occasionally I would say hello to people I knew. And of course, this guy's controlling, so he's not happy about it. And he came over to me and he goes, "Get over here now." And I said, "Excuse me, we just got, like, we'd only been there maybe an hour." And I'm like, I'm talking to my girlfriend. It wasn't even a dude, it was a girl. I'm like, I'm talking to my girlfriend. We go and talk for a few minutes and then I'll come over there. So I did. I went over and he was cranky and he was kind of pushing me a little, like physically pushing me a little. And I get a little upset about the physical touching at that point. You know, he was angry and I could tell he was getting more angry the more I talked to people. Now, I will say, and I'm sure you can tell by the kind of person I am, I'm a hugger. I hug everybody. I hug grandmas, I hug grandpas, I hug strangers, I hug kids, I hug everybody. I'm just a hugger. So if I see somebody I know, I hug them. And they hug me too, because everybody knows I'm a hugger. Not a kisser, I'm a hugger. I hug lots. If I seen you, I'd hug you too. That's just how I roll. So I hug people, and I think I ran into some dudes I knew from high school. Very plutonic. I never dated anybody. This is only my second boyfriend. I never dated anybody from high school. So it was never a relationship or anything, but it was just a hug and a chit chat very briefly because he was being rude, right? He was being angry and possessive and controlling and scaring me a little bit. And the girl who I had talked to earlier came over and she goes, "I don't know, Diane, he's acting a little weird. Maybe you should come home with us. We're going to a different bar." And I go, "No, you know, he got mad when I said that I might leave with them." And I'm like, "You know what? I'll just stay with him tonight. And I think I'm going to end it with him because he's kind of freaking me out just a little." And I went over and I couldn't find him. She came over and talked to me for 2 seconds. She left. Then I went looking. So my friends are gone. I don't know anybody in the bar anymore. Because it's now later in the evening. It's about 1 in the morning, maybe. I searched for maybe an hour. Because it's big. So you walk around, you could miss somebody. So I'm looking, and I'm like, where is he? And so I went and stood by the coat check because I cannot find them. And I asked the coat check lady, I'm like, "Can I have my coat?" Because I remembered the number of the tag thing. And she went and she goes, "There's no coats there. That number's not here anymore." And I'm like, "There's no coat on there?" She goes, "No." So now I'm thinking, I got no money. Now, you young people who are watching this, we didn't have no cell phones. We had to use public phones. Like, you know what I'm talking about, from a phone booth. We had to pay phones. We had to use them. There was no cell phones, and I mean none. Nobody had it. The rare occasion somebody rich had a car phone. But no cell cell phones. So I couldn't just call somebody. I asked the bar if they would let me use their phone to call my dad. They said no. They were closing, so they told me I had to leave. I don't know anybody anymore. I had run into my friends earlier. They'd all left. I couldn't find him, and my coat was gone, so he left and took my coat with him. My purse is in his car. He's got my ID and my money in his pocket. So I have a short sleeve shirt, a mini skirt, and high heel shoes, and that's it. That's all I got. None else. And they throw me out of the bar. I haven't been drinking, so I'm stone cold sober. So I said, can somebody call somebody for me? Can you call even my parents? Can you give me a ride home? And they're like, we can't do that. Yeah, they didn't care about girls back then. They didn't give two craps about safety. And I was cute back then, trust me. It wasn't because I was ugly or whatever. But they sent me away. They said I had to leave because they were closed up. Because at this point, everybody's left. It's like 3 in the morning, right? I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. And everybody left. They didn't give two. They just figure I'm some drunk chick who's, you know, whatever. I don't know. Dump them or rob them. I don't know. But anyway, I'm left alone. Now, this nightclub was in a mall. And the mall was a sort of pretty large mall. 2-story, pretty large. And the way I'll use this IPSY thing. It's a square mall like this. I'm right here. This is the nightclub. I have to go up here and then across the road and up a field to get home. Or I could go around here and then up the road to home. That added about a 15-minute walk if I was to go on the sidewalk home. So I'm like, I'm going to run across the field as fast as I can. If I'm running, I might stay warm. You know what I mean? I don't have any other choice at this point. It's frigid outside. I'm terrified. It's 3 in the morning. I'm a girl wearing next to nothing, running around outdoors. So I run through the mall, which is nice and clear, so I was pretty good there. Now you have to remember, I'm wearing high heels, and there's snow and ice. I make it across the busy road. Now it's not busy at night, but and there's a high school here, junior high here, and I lived in behind at the other side of the field. My house was in the back, an extra block, but it was back there. So instead of going around the junior high, I cut straight through the middle between the junior high and the high school and cut across. I'm running, and I just got on the field. I'm just not even past the junior high at this point, and then there's a big field after that. And I hear screaming, and I look, and then there's lights, and the lights don't look like they're on the road anymore because there was a row behind me and a row going here a ways away. And I'm like, those lights seem awfully close, and why are they coming at me that way? There's no intersecting road that would be coming towards me. And then I realized there's a car coming towards me. And I'm thinking, it's the boyfriend. He's decided that he feels guilty for abandoning me in the nightclub with nothing at all to my name but my skirt and my shirt. And he's going to come. And then I realized it's a car. It isn't no, it's a truck. Sorry, it isn't a car. They were in a car. This is a truck, like a pickup truck, like a half-ton pickup truck. And there are dudes with the windows down and a dude sitting up on the window ledge screaming that they're coming to get me. Now, I won't say what they said because this is YouTube and I probably can't, but you can imagine the kinds of things they were screaming at me as they circled me as I'm trying to run through the field. They were circling me, saying very scary things to me. I'm crying. It wasn't a good situation. I'm thinking, this is it for me, man. If I live through this, I will be surprised. If I come out of this untouched, I will be surprised. It was frightening. The things they were saying were so vile and so horrifically bad. And I'm trying to, in my mind, say, oh, they're just joking. It's a joke. They're just trying to scare me. But then I realized they weren't trying to scare me. They were trying to pin me in because I just kept running straight. But at this point, I can't really do that anymore. These guys, it's a pretty big circle they were making around me. They were basically donutting almost kind of around me, saying these things, but the truck was getting slower. And the guys were like, stop, 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 you know, let's go get her and take her with us, basically. And I'm crying. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm saying, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm screaming. I actually screamed for help. Yes, I did. Because I was halfway to my house. I was hoping somebody, because there was condos right there. I was hoping somebody would hear. Because I'm in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a field. There's nothing. Mall behind me, high school beside me, junior high beside me, and then some condos ahead. Like, there was nothing there. And 3 in the morning. And so I'm like, and I'm freezing. We should just say that. I'm freezing. I'm shivering. Like, it was bad. I could barely talk. I probably couldn't have screamed even if I tried because I was so cold. Oh, we'll warm you up. And yeah, it was so awful. And I was just about ready to just give up. Like, it was awful. Then I hear honking. I'm like, oh, maybe that's the boyfriend. He actually realizes he's being an ass and he's going to come get me and everything's going to be okay. He's going to save me. And then, it's the police. Best moment of my life. Not even going to lie. Best moment. Well, these guys see the freaking cops coming. They go across the field and they try to spin away, like to leave. And I'm thinking the cops are going to chase them. Good. So I start running again, right? I'm running. I'm going to get home. I'm going to get home. I'm frozen. These guys are scaring me. I'm going to get home before anybody knows what's happening, you know, before these guys can figure out that the police are gone and haven't caught them and they can come back and get me. My brain was, I just want to get home. But the police didn't go after them at all. They actually came after me. First thing they did was they stopped the car, grabbed a blanket, and sat me in the car. And of course, they're asking me, what happened to you? Because I was wearing next to nothing. Maybe I look like somebody had taken some of my stuff. And I go, no. I said I was at this specific disco nightclub. And my boyfriend left with my purse, my coat. I don't know why he did it. Maybe he thinks it's funny. It wasn't. Then the people at the bar would not let me stay, would not let me use their phones to call my parents. But because he took all my money, I didn't even have money for a phone. I had nothing. And the only thing I could do at that point was run home because I live just over there. I go, then all of a sudden that truck came and they started circling me and told them everything they were saying. And I got part of the license plate, but only the first 3, you know, it's not going to matter at that point because I couldn't tell the color of the truck. It was pitch black. There was no lights or anything around. It was black. And I'm kind of night blind anyway, even back then. So I couldn't see very well. But, you know, to see the right color, I knew it was a dark color, but yeah. And they got me a blanket. They were trying to warm me up in the car. And they're like, I hope tomorrow you're going to be single. I'm like, I'm pretty sure tomorrow I'm going to be single. Because like they said, at first we weren't sure if those guys had been attacking you and you were running away from them. Because we weren't sure if you had all your clothes on. And I'm like, I thought you were going to go after them and leave me. And they're like, no, we had to get you. I was, I guess, their priority because I was frozen. Like I was cold. So they took me home. They were debating on whether to take me to the hospital or not because I definitely had hypothermia. But they took me home. They talked to my parents because I was 20, but, you know, I'm still kind of a kid. You know what I mean? Talked to my parents about the situation and how, these guys were not far from the house and maybe they knew me because I didn't know either whether that I knew them or not because I couldn't really see clearly who they were. I just knew that it wasn't my boyfriend and his friends, but I couldn't tell completely if they knew me or not. So they're like, you might want to be a little, careful, making sure nobody's around because I lived really, really close to there. And then the police left. If they ever could find these people, then I would have to, go beyond and do a report because they were trying to take me. I'm pretty sure. I cannot say for 100% that they were ever going to kidnap me, but it was pretty clear that they were. And And it was terrifying. So my mother helped me. We were debating still to go to the hospital, but we did the whole warm up thing, slowly, cold bath, that kind of thing. Anyway, I was fine by the next day. Kind of. Terrified. Super duper terrified. Did I break up with the dude? Because you know what he said to me the next day? When my dad called him and said, where's her purse? Where's her coat? Where's her money? Because I had money in my purse. And I didn't know if he was going to take my money or not. You know, I had a job. I was a working girl. Ooh, that sounded bad. I was not that kind of working girl. I worked for my monies, but he didn't. He was unemployed. So, yeah, no. So my dad goes, you need to bring that here or the police will be coming. And the police told me that if he didn't give it back, then I could report him as stealing it. So he comes over 2 days later. Meanwhile, as you know, I don't have my money, my bank cards, my, you know, any ID. He had my driver's license. He had everything. I had nothing. So finally he comes and he goes, you know, you have no idea how rude your daughter was to me when we went out the other night. She deserved what she got. She deserved to have to walk home. Why would I give her a ride when she was ignoring me all night, treating me badly, and I figured she would go home with one of the dudes she was talking to. I'm like, I was talking to one dude for 2 minutes. Jeez. And then I realized, like I said to my dad, you know, I realized at that point, this guy was heading for something really scary. And he came back in the future a week later and he used his fists to get through to me that I was supposed to be with him, if you know what I'm saying. Fists to my face. Yeah. So, but I had broken up with him that next day. He just came and my mom was like, I feel sorry for him. I let him in. Yeah, that's not a good idea of any kind because this dude was scaring me. So the moral of my story is that's my scary, how I survived being chased in the frigid temperatures. I swear it was like one of those made-for-TV movies where the girl has to escape the crazy psychos after her crazy manipulative boyfriend does something terrible to her. It was just, I don't know, it almost seems surreal. Like, this can't be happening to me. This is not something that happens to normal people. People in the nightclub, of course they would let you use their phone. Of course somebody would drive you home. Of course nobody would take your coat, because that's 3 guys in that car that thought it was perfectly acceptable to steal my coat and my purse and leave. They all did. How did all those things come together? And some crazy dudes driving down the street at the same time to... But then again, the Lord works in mysterious ways because the police also seen. I got rescued. I did. Thank goodness. I don't know. If you're ever in that situation, I didn't ask people. I didn't ask anybody else there. You know, because I'm from that neighborhood. There was a few people that were leaving that were familiar to me, as in I knew they went to high school with me, but I didn't know them. I should have asked them for a ride. Or, you know, asked if they were taking a cab, if we could just, because I lived like fairly close, and if we got to my house, I could get my mom to give me some money and I could give them the $10 or whatever. So speak up. If you're ever in a situation where nobody's helping you and you feel threatened, you feel trapped, or you feel like me, where I didn't have any options at that point. I waited until there was no options. I should have been proactive before there was no options. But I just didn't think that the people at the bar would throw me out like that. I really thought they would let me call my parents. That's all they had to do. My dad would have come. No problem. But they didn't. So don't wait. If you are in that situation, nowadays you guys have cell phones. But you might leave your purse in the car like I did, and then you don't have a cell phone. You got a skirt and a shirt and high heels and nothing else. Then you're in trouble. So just, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to tell you, male or female, to be a little more careful, to look for the signs of somebody who seems like If they don't want you talking to other people and they get angry if you so much as hug an old friend briefly for 2 seconds and they act like you're off cheating on them and you're a horrible person and they want to hurt you, hit you, run. Run the other way. I did. The only reason he got anywhere near me a second time is because of my mom. Oh, by the way, he went to prison for that. Just FYI. Yeah, I pressed charges. I'm not going to let nobody treat me like that. Hell no. No. My husbands don't treat me like that. My husbands, I make it sound like I'm a polygamist. My husband does not treat me like that. No man should treat you like that. Not ever. Not ever. You need to, there's programs, there's this and that. And I know that men can be scary. Women too. Some of them are pretty freaking terrifying too. But, you know, look for the signs and be proactive. Don't wait until it's too late. Like I should have done it earlier. Get brave, and if you see somebody you know, ask them for help. Ask people for help, because sometimes you need to do that. I didn't want to do that. I was embarrassed. I don't want to tell people that I need help. You know what I mean? Like almost everybody was out of the bar. Even I could have asked a bartender to drive me home. I was probably safer with them than in the middle of a field being chased down by some dudes who were going to take me off and murder me or something. You know what I mean? So there's that. Take care of yourselves. Be brave. Speak up. Don't leave your coat in a car of somebody that you're kind of leery about, because you could end up like me. Be careful. Everybody, be careful. Be safe. That's all I'm saying. And someday you will find somebody great. Somebody who's a good dad and treats you decently and doesn't hit you and you know, gives you a good life. Sometimes you got to put up with some of these losers to get to that one. But it's worth it. In the end, it was worth it. And the police saved my life. So I'm always been grateful to them for that night. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I hope to see you again. And, you know, there are programs out there if you need help. And I'm going to leave a hotline number down below. So until next time, bye.